So, a new study is out now that just dropped, kind of breaking news, that marijuana use has surpassed alcohol and cigarettes for the first time ever in this latest study. There are now 21.4 million daily marijuana users, and that's compared to 19.9 million cigarette users and 17.7 million alcohol users. And on this channel, of course, I'm going to give you the cigars. So cigars, they're about 8.6 million was the latest data I found from the CDC, but that was in 21. So it's probably more up to 10 million today. So we're still a little lower, but that's okay. We like that. Marijuana daily use has surpassed cigarettes by a pretty substantial margin in the first time in society, really. So it's going to be really interesting on what this means and how that pans out because, mainly our societies have been tobacco use, some sort of alcohol use, and those are the two main things. So as more and more people begin to use marijuana, are we going to become a less productive society? Are we going to become a more paranoid society? Probably, yeah. Now, is it a good thing that people are using cigarettes and alcohol less? Yes, it is. Though they are both very unhealthy things, especially with alcohol, it can ruin a lot of people's lives. So for the health aspect, yes, it is better. Not necessarily better than marijuana, but it's better that people are drinking and smoking less and less. Especially alcohol, it's pretty crazy. I'm sure you guys have seen or just taken notes that young people today don't really drink as much as older generations. That's why alcohol sales are down big time. Bar sales are down big time because there's just the younger generation, like Gen Z or whatever, are just not drinking as much. Because I think, we've touched on this before, but I really think that the younger generation is a lot more health conscious than previous generations and a lot more interested in what's going into their body and just have seen that alcohol is not worth it. It's really a poison that you're putting into your body. It can lead you down some bad paths. So people really aren't partaking in it anymore. Obviously, there's still quite a bit of alcohol use, but as far as the youth and the younger generation and the numbers, it's way down. Cigarettes, on the other hand, I don't know anybody who smokes cigarettes anymore, especially younger people. Like maybe they're doing Zins, they're vaping more than likely, maybe a cigar, but cigarettes, that's got to be just the older generation, like 40, 45 and older are the ones still smoking cigarettes. Once that generation starts to go, I feel like cigarettes are really going to drop off because, I don't know, everybody knows about cigarettes and there's no point to them anymore. They smell gross. But the pot thing, let's get into the pot thing now. It's not all that cracked up as a lot of people or a lot of your friends might say it is. Okay, it's not super healthy for you. It's still dangerous. It's still, as far as health wise, it does affect your brain. And once again, it is still a foreign substance that you're putting into your body. Okay, so no matter what your pot smoking hippie friend says, it's not all cracked up to be. And really, there hasn't really been a society of stoners. So we don't really have anything to base this on, but you can just tell from the groups of people that personally that smoke a lot of pot, it affects you. No matter what you want to say, it affects them. I know people that stick up for pot till their dying day, but yet when they smoke, they are very kind of brain dead. They're walking around like this and talking really slow, man. Yeah, it really puts a hindrance on your motor function and on your brain functions. So yeah, it's good that people are using cigarettes less and less and alcohol less and less, but replacing that with marijuana is not the best option to do. Is pot as dangerous as cigarettes? No, it's not. But what's the better option out of the three? A nice quality cigar. Come on, people. That's where these numbers really need to go. cigar use. And obviously I'm just kind of kidding around, you know, if you're somebody that can't do anything or have any substance or have some sort of health condition, you shouldn't be smoking or partaking in anything. But if you're going to do something, cigar is your best option out of what we're talking about. And like we talked about in my previous two videos is, you know, I think it does, this also is on the same path as the social aspects that we were talking about. You know, how, yeah, it's not good for you, but the social aspect is good of people actually going out for drinks and going out to the bar and, you know, maybe having a party, whatever. That part is good. And it, unfortunately, it seems like the social aspect is breaking down. And this is a telltale sign that that's actually happening, because I feel like alcohol is more of a social drink versus marijuana that is more of a, I'm just going to kind of sit in my living room and smoke a joint and veg out. It's definitely not as social, especially if you've been around people who do smoke. You know, they smoke and then they're like that the whole night. You know, they're not very energetic, they're not talkative, being social, whatever. And I'm not advocating for alcohol. I'm just driving home the point of the social aspect, which is interesting. And this data kind of shows that, to where people are being less and less social, less and less friends, less and less going out, less personal interaction from peer to peer. And marijuana is now replacing that by yourself in your own home. Because, you know, that's probably more enjoyable than just sitting alone in your house drinking. You know, I guess you'd rather smoke pot. I don't do either, so I don't know. And I know I've mentioned this in some of my past videos, but nicotine does have some positive effects on the body, especially, and there's been some recent studies about this, how it is healthy. And actually people who lost their taste from, you know, what happened in 2020, nicotine was one of the things that brought their taste back. And there's some other benefits to it. Maybe we'll do a dedicated video on the benefits of nicotine, because that's why I also don't mind smoking cigars, because I think nicotine is not bad for you. And it's just tobacco. Yeah, it's still, you're still getting this, you know, some smoke and stuff, so it's not perfectly healthy, but it's better than all these options. And, you know, once again, guys, the kind of theme of all my videos is I really think the powers that be kind of want this, because marijuana makes men more docile. It makes them not really care about anything. It makes them just go with the flow and go along with it. And what does that mean? That means a society that's more easily governable, way less of a chance to actually stand up and make a stand against something that's wrong, because they're all kind of drugged out of their mind. And guys, if you're liking the content, make sure to subscribe to Cigars and Coffee. We're trying to get to the first 50 subs so we can go live and do some fun things. So hit that subscribe button. And now, I'm not advocating that pot is evil or cigarettes or alcohol is evil or any of these things should be banned, because, you know, as a libertarian-esque mindset, you should be able to do what you want. And if that's what you partake in, then partake in it. But I just kind of wanted to give you some food for thought, maybe some takes that you're not going to see really anywhere else. And of course, be advocating for the lesser known player, cigars. Okay? If you need advice, if you partake in anything, if you're somebody that wants to quit alcohol or cigarettes, but you need something, so you're thinking about vaping, chewing, smoking marijuana, go to a cigar bar, light up a cigar, because that still gives you the social aspect. It's more healthy than the other three. And I really want to say they're not as addictive, because you don't really see anybody addicted to cigars. They're not pounding, especially, you know, a big one. They're not pounding them down once every 30 minutes. You know, you kind of chill after a long day, you smoke a stogie, and that's all you need. So in retrospect, yeah, they are healthier, because you're ingesting less smoke into your body versus smoking cigarettes all day or smoking weed all day. or vaping or even drinking. And at least for me, it is kind of annoying in today's society that marijuana is so acceptable now because, you know, it's everywhere you go out in public. You know, not everybody wants to smell that. Not everybody wants to be around that. And now it's basically like not even a drug. It's like alcohol or whatever. So the more and more people that are going to be using this, the more and more other people are going to be susceptible to it. You know, I'll even be driving and the guy in front of me will be smoking pot and it's wafting into my vehicle. It's like, you know, come on, that's a little ridiculous. So the point of that is with these statistics and with more people using, I hope it's still a drug. At the end of the day, it's still a drug. It should be used. If you're going to use it, it should be used, you know, at your house or in a private setting, not in public, not while driving, none of that. But to recap, guys, marijuana now has surpassed alcohol and cigarettes for daily users with 21 million users daily, which is a lot. It's a pretty crazy statistic. It hasn't happened yet. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think that this is a good thing? Do you think that this could lead to more problems, more driving under the influence? Could it lead to a more dumber down of society that we already are, less social that we talked about? Pros and cons, positives, negatives. Let me know. Drop a comment. Hit subscribe. Like the video. Thanks for watching Cigars and Coffee, guys. Always remember, if you're going to pick any of them, pick a cigar. We'll catch you in the next one.